Geneva Convention was drafted to provide protection for civilians, but it does little to protect civilians during war, right? It does not include any new constraints on aerial war, reprisals against civilians, scorched earth tactics, or the starvation of civilians. Rather, it focuses on the protection of civilians in occupied territories. Its main goal is to prohibit another Jewish Holocaust. So any protections from the 1949 Geneva Convention for civilians completely depends upon civilians remaining passive. Right? Once they engage in hostile activities, they lose the rights of protected persons. And even the protection offered to passive civilians is contingent on military imperatives. And Article 27 acknowledges that the parties to the conflict may take such measures of control and security with regard to protected persons as may be necessary as a result of war. So it prohibits mass forcible transfers, but it accepts that an occupying power may undertake total evacuation of a given area if the security of the population or imperative military reasons so demand. And the 1949 Geneva Convention envisages that governments may manage their own populations in the same manner. Right? It provides for parties to set up separate neutralized zones to shelter non-combatants. Right? So civilians who take part in hostilities will naturally be excluded. So protection offered to civilians by the 1949 Geneva Convention depends upon a clear distinction between civilians and combatants, both in legal and in spatial terms. So this reflects a common military strategy that was then used before and after the drafting of these provisions. You'd separate the civilian populations from the combatants that they might support, whether you separate them willingly or you separate them under their duress, right? And that's the way people had waged war.